Thinking of buying a home in Singapore, but you are stunned like a vegetable when you see the home price? Don't worry, because I got you. In this video, I will talk about all the HDB housing grants that are available, how you can qualify for the grants, and how much money you can get. Then, finally, I will answer some common questions that you may have. Also, a huge thank you to Own My Home, as this video was produced in collaboration with them. With that being said, let's jump right into the first grant, the Enhanced CPF Housing Grant, or also known as EHG. This grant can be used to buy either a new or a resale flat. And with this grant, you can get up to 80k. Wow, so good Yes, but with terms and conditions of course. There needs to be at least one first-timer applicant, meaning he or she has not received any housing subsidies before. Second, the flat that you are buying needs to have a remaining lease of more than 20 years. Pro tip, you can check this by going to HDB Map Services. Click on any HDB and you will see the remaining lease. Third, the remaining lease needs to be able to cover the youngest owner till 95 years old. Otherwise, you will only get a prorated amount. Finally, the buyer needs to also have worked for at least 12 months before applying. So you mean if I'm studying, I can't get the grant? Hold up, don't worry, because there's something called Deferred Income Assessment. If you are a full-time student or are currently serving the NS or have just ORD within the last 12 months prior to the flat application, you can apply to have your income assessed only when it's nearer to your key collection appointment. That way, you can still qualify for the grant later on. Okay, there are two types of the grant. The first type is for families. The most common type is a married couple, but it also includes multi-generation families and orphan siblings. Then the second type is for singles, which people from Heartland Zone calls Bui Bui Forever Alone. Just kidding, it's not just for singles. It's also for two or more singles, single child aged 35 and above who is buying with parents, and for families who is buying with non-residents. The grant amount will be different depending on whether you are applying as a family, applying as a single, but here's a chart to summarize this. So let's say if you are applying as a first-timer family, or if you are buying together with two or more singles, you'll be referring to the grant amount for families chart. Let's try this out. If you are earning 3k a month and your spouse is earning 4k a month, the monthly household income is 7k. In this case, you will qualify for a 25k grant. Then for singles, you'll be getting half the amount. So if you earn 3k a month, you will qualify for a 17.5k grant. But here's an interesting question. What if your boss pays you a year-end bonus? Will that be counted in the monthly income? Good news? No, it won't be counted. So stuff like AWS, NS allowance, rental income don't count towards the monthly income. Quick pause. If you are currently wondering how much is your home worth right now, how much your neighbors are selling their home for, and how much cash will you get when you sell, you can check out this AI tool called Homer AI by Own My Home. With Homer AI, you will get access to real-time information of your home price, set up your cash proceeds calculator, plus look at all the recent transactions in your estate. Currently, Homer AI is only trained on HDB data, but will include private property data in the next few months. With this information, you will also be able to sell your home for more. Accurate price information and knowing demand in the area helps you maximize your profit when selling, totally free of charge. So if you are interested, you can check out Homer AI using my link down below, and you will get a free $5 NTUC voucher when you connect your home to it. As for those looking to sell the home soon, a special thing about Own My Home is that while most seller agents charge 2% for helping you to sell your house, Own My Home only charges 1%. On top of that, they are guaranteeing that they can sell your home within 3 months at an optimal price. Otherwise, they will cut $1,000 off the commission fee. So if you are looking to sell, buy, or even rent a place, you can book a free consultation with them using my link down below to see how they can help you out. With that being said, let's get back to the video. The next grant is called CPF Housing Grants for Resale Flats. As the name suggests, this grant is for buying resale flats, so it's not applicable for buying BTOs. The eligibility of this grant is quite similar to the previous grant. So there needs to be at least one first-timer applicant. The flat that you are buying needs to have a remaining lease of more than 20 years, though it doesn't require you to cover the youngest owner till 95 years old. So that's good. There's also two types of the grant. The first type is for families, so people would usually call it the family grant. And the second one is for singles, also known as singles grant. Let's go through them. To qualify for the family grant, the monthly household income must not exceed $14,000. Or if you are buying together with your family of another generation, for example, your parents or your children, the monthly household income must not exceed 21K. Then, depending on your flat size, citizenship, and whether you are a first-timer or second-timer couples, the amounts will range from 25K up to 80K. As for the singles grant, if you are buying on your own, your monthly income needs to be below 7K. Or if you are buying together with another person, like your parents or your non-resident spouse or other first-timer singles, the monthly income ceiling limit is higher at 14K. If you are buying a 2 to 4 room flat, you will get 40K. And if you are buying 5 room or bigger, you will get 25K. Or if you are buying together with another person, you will get 80K if you are buying 2 to 4 room flat, or 50K if you are buying 5 room or bigger. Next, proximity housing grant. So this is a grant that encourages you to stay close to your parents or your child. The good thing about this grant is that there's no income ceiling requirement. So even if you are as rich as that 1M65 Mr. Liu guy, you will still qualify for the grant. Though, this grant is only applicable if you are buying a resale flat, and there needs to be at least one Singapore citizen. Similarly, the flat needs to have a remaining lease of more than 20 years. If you are buying as a family, and if you are planning to live with your parents or your child, you will get 30K, or if you live within 4 km of them, you will get 20K. Then, if you are buying as a single, the amount will drop by half. Pro tip: HDB has a distance enquiry tool that lets you check the distance between two HDBs. Or if you are using the HDB map services, there's an option to show area within 4 km. Moving on, the next grant is called the Step Up Grant, where you will get 15K. This grant is for families who want to upgrade from a 2-room flat in a non-mature estate that's either bought from HDB after October 1995 or bought on the open market with a CPF housing grant also in a non-mature estate. It's also for families who want to upgrade from a public rental flat to a 2-room or 3-room flat in a non-mature estate. For those wondering, non-mature estate refers to towns that have more land available for public housing. Here's a list of mature estates and non-mature estates. So places like Bukit Batok, Bukit Panjang, and Yishun are considered as non-mature estates. To qualify for the grant, the monthly household income needs to be below 7K, and you must have worked for at least 12 months before applying. The remaining lease of the flat needs to be more than 20 years and must be sufficient to cover the youngest core applicant and core occupier till 95 years old. The final grant is the Citizen Top-Up Grant, which will give you 10K and is applicable for both new and resale flats. It's for families that has a Singapore citizen and a PR, and a household member that becomes a Singapore citizen. So, for example, it can be a PR who's converted to a Singapore citizen, or you suddenly pop out a Singapore citizen child. This grant is actually considered as a reimbursement because when you originally bought a house from HDB, you will have paid a premium of 10K, or when you are taking a CPF housing grant for family, you will have gotten 10K less than the original amount. But take note, if you qualify, you will need to quickly submit the application within 6 months of being eligible for the grant. Otherwise, too bad, you won't get back that 10K anymore. So those are the grants that you can get for your next home purchase. But if you are still blur and don't remember everything that I've just said, you can check out this beautiful flowchart by dollars and cents, which I will link down below. This chart will give you a quick overview of the grants that are available to you. But here are some FAQs that you may have. First, how is the grant given to me? The grant is split equally between the core members who are applying for the grant, and it will be fully credited into your CPF ordinary account, which you can then use to pay for your home purchase. But this has an implication, because the grant goes in your CPF and you're using your CPF money to pay for the house, you're considered borrowing money from your own CPF. In that case, you'll be incurring the 2.5% accrued interest, and when you eventually sell the house, you have to pay back this accrued interest back to your CPF. Because of this, some people would advise you not to take up the grant if you're planning to sell a house in the future. Personally, I would say this doesn't matter, because when you sell your house and pay back the accrued interest, the money will still go back to your CPF, which you can then use to pay for your next house. So in the end, your CPF money is still your money. But here's a tip. If you want to avoid accruing so much interest, you can actually do a voluntary housing refund to sort of return the money that you have borrowed from your CPF. Though, personally, I wouldn't advise you to do that right now, because with the current bond yields going at 3.8%, you can actually get a higher return by putting your money in the bank or investing in government bonds. Next, how will cash overvaluation affect the grant? COV is the amount where if the sale price exceeds the home valuation, you can only pay the COV using cash and can't use the grant to pay for it. So that's all for this video. Hopefully it helps you out. Like, share and subscribe as I'll be posting new videos every Monday, Wednesday and Friday.